Okay, we are here after a very long time. I think I did the last lecture to you on December 11th, and now it is January 22nd. Anyway, like we missed a few weeks due to Christmas, and then because of like faculty conference of our faculty, and in the meantime, you guys were summoned to the university for your practical. So during your practical week, practical days, actually, I contacted Sanka continuously and Tanya to to get a free time to do a lecture, right? Anyway, like today is the uh, this morning hour only we got, that means I got to know that you guys are free. So that's why I thought of doing a lecture, right? So, right. First, thank you, Tanya and Sanka, for letting me know that you guys are free during these morning hours, right? So anyway, I will give you, like, I will brief you the lessons that we have to do. Um, yes, we have to do the assessment, right? So in your faculty, uh, these before the examination assessment CA marks should be released, right? So yes, can you guys hear me? Because my internet connection is not so stable. Uh, that's why I asked. I think you guys can hear me. Right. Let me know any lagging or any problem uh, with my audio, right? Okay. So the thing is that you should be eligible from the continuous assessments to sit for the paper finally, for the final examination. To sit or to participate at the final examination, you should be eligible, or you should get eligible from the CS, right? There's a particular level, or I think the 16 marks should be obtained from the CS to participate in the examination, or else you will get repeated, right? So the credit, I think by now you know what is a credit subject and a non-credit subject. So that's why I'm like stressing a bit more about English lectures of you people, right? Right, anyway, today we will do a one lesson, and then we have to do another two more lessons, and finally the assessments, right? So assessments will be based on speaking skills and the listening skills, right? I got to know that as Sanka informed, you guys will be at the university up until February 14th, right? So then no worries, we will have time. Uh, the next lecture will be, most probably will be conducted physically, right? I know you guys have some difficulties when joining with these online lectures, because at the hostels and at your faculty even, uh, I think there's this coverage issue is there, that means signal issue, right? So I'm sorry for like today scheduling online session because I'm not at the university. uh, today and tomorrow, and yesterday I was not at the university, right? So anyway, like we will do the lesson here, and if you feel like uncomfortable and if you feel issues while logging into the session because of this signal problems, so no worries, I will then give a small summary on the next day of today's lesson, right? Okay, so right, let me share my screen with you.
Recording in progress.
All right, sorry for the inconvenience. So can you guys see my screen now? Yes, is it visible? Yes. All right, good. Okay, so right now tell me, you can see in this slide there are three images, right? Can you use one of these without the other? What are the images that you can see in this slide? If we go to first one, yes, that is an image of what? Yes, yes, some quick answers, please. Fork and spoon. Yes, chamot. Very good. Right? Okay. Then what about the next one? Yes. Come on. There are very easy three images, and you know them already. Yes. Needle and a. We can simply say a thread. Needle and thread. Right? And finally, what is this? Yes, a phone and a charger, right? Okay, now tell me, can you use these equipments without the other part? That means if we take this, the most common example and the most familiar example, your mobile phone and the charger, right? So, can you use your mobile phone without the charger? Or is there any advantage of the charger without the mobile phone? No, right? So today we are going to talk about something related in language learning, right? So this basis is there with the topic that we are going to discuss today, right? The connection between two or like majorly two parts. Okay, so right, subject verb agreement, right? So this is your fifth lesson, right? But I didn't do this because at the very beginning, because we were doing some simple reading activities and then more speaking activities targeting your assessment, right? So actually, I didn't touch the writing parts at the very beginning of your lectures, right? So to do this, this is not a very difficult lesson, but to do this lesson, you should have uh, basic knowledge about some reading and some small writing parts, right, before this. So that's why we did nouns. So now the lesson nouns is directly connected with this subject verb agreement lesson, right? So only for the clarification, I'm asking, uh, I did not find any recordings about of this lesson that means I did this lesson with you earlier. Did I do this lesson with you guys earlier? By any chance? No, right? Did
No,
we
ma'am.
do? Okay, right. Thank you. Because like as I think I have told you earlier as well, I'm doing first years. I'm doing lectures for three first years batch, and your one is fourth one, right? So the same curriculum is there, right? So that's why always I'm getting like this small uh, thought that I have done this lesson with some of the badges. That's why I asked. Okay. All right. So today we are going to talk about subject verb agreement. When we take a simple sentence in English or in singular or in any other language, there are three major parts. What are they? Grammatically, what are the three major parts that you can find in the sentence? In this topic itself, you find two parts out of these three major parts. What is the structure of a sentence? In English language, what is the structure? First, we
Subject, verb, and object.
subject, verb, and object. Very good, right? So this is the basic structure of an English sentence, right? So when we take other languages, Sinhala, Tamil, and then when it goes to French, German, and likewise, when it like in any language, there's a particular structure for a sentence structure, right? So subject, verb, object is the basic structure, or we call it as SVO, right? That is the basic structure of English language or English sentences, right? So in most of the cases, and in like it is very common and it is very normal, we change the structure accordingly, right? There are some instances that we change the structure, but remember, subject, verb, object is the basic structure of English language, right? Okay. So now look at these three sentences which have been created based on the images that we saw first, right? Fork and spoon, needle and thread, mobile phone and the charger, right? So let's see the three sentences. The first one, both the needle and thread are in the swing box. Are in the swing box, right? So look at the next sentence. Anna buys a spoon and fork. So in these two sentences, I think you guys can like recognize or identify. Here, look at this first one. Needle and thread. Then what happened to the verb in here? Are means a singular or a plural term. Yes? Plural. Very good. Right? So in here, needle and thread. This is the subject of this sentence. Okay? According to the subject, we keep the verb. Right? So, like, uh, don't get confused. We are going to discuss one by one what are the subject verb agreement rules, and before that I'm going to give you a brief or a small introduction about what is the subject and what is the verb of a sentence. This is for the beginners, right? Sometimes like for most of you, this will be a very simple lesson because you guys already have an idea about this subject verb agreement rule, and yet sometimes you might be able to make some mistakes, right? So those students, take this lesson as a recap, right? As a small revision or a brushing lesson, right? The ones who do not have any idea about this, what is this subject verb agreement, right? So for them, no worries. You have the lesson from the zero, right? That means you have all the details from the very beginning. So please pay your very close attention to this lesson and do all the exercises that we are going to do in this session, right? Okay. And look at the next sentence. Anna buys a spoon and fork. So when it comes here, a spoon and fork have been considered as a one item, right? That's why in here the verb has been kept as a, right? Singular and plural. You know what are singular nouns and plural nouns. I think you guys can remember, right? Okay, the next one. The cell phone and the charger are in my bag. So I just created these three sentences to highlight you that there are some differences in keeping subject according to the in keeping verb according to the subject of the sentence, right? Okay. So we will now move for a very simple sentence, right? So this is a yeah, as I told you, a very simple sentence. The dog brings a bone. The dog brings a bone. Okay. Now, can somebody tell me what is the subject of this sentence?
Dog.
Dog. Why do you say that this is the subject? Why dog becomes the subject of this sentence? Because, yes, by whom the action of this sentence is performed. Yes? Okay, first tell me what is the action of this sentence? The activity of this sentence?
Thanks.
Brings. Very good. So then dog is the one, not the person, sorry. Dog is the one who does the activity of this sentence, right? So it is always the person or the thing which perform the activity of the sentence is called the subject, the sentence. What is the singular term for the subject? Yes?
Patru.
Yes, sorry.
Patru.
Cut through. Very good, right? That means the person, the always the thing or the word which performs the activity of the sentence is called the subject, right? So in here, the verb is brings. So the S, the letter S at the end of the verb mentions that the subject is first person, second person, or third person. Can you understand? Right? Okay, let's go for that part later on. First, just check whether you understood what is the subject and a verb of a sentence, right? So the subject and the verb means the action of a particular tense. Is it clear? Are there any doubts? Okay, if you have any questions, just raise them, just ask them. Do not stay as you understood everything, right? Okay, because this lesson is really important. Based on this lesson, there will be one or two questions in your exam paper, and in all the other writing parts, writing answers, I'm checking this subject verb agreement of your sentences, right? So that's why I asked තේරුණා වගේ ඉන්න එපා. මොනවා හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාලට සිංහලෙන් හරි කමන්න අහන්න. Try your best to use English language, but if you feel like it is really difficult, so until we get it developed, ask the question even in Sinhala, right? Okay, in here you can find a definition for subject. As I said, subject is the person, place, or thing that is doing something simply performs the action of a sentence means doing something in that sentence, right? Kriyava karanna in Sinhala, right? There may be other sentences. So now this is a very simple sentence, Pute, right? But there are some sentences that you find many, one or two to three nouns are there. In very lengthy sentences, you find two to three nouns sometimes, right? If you have read English novels or like newspapers or research papers, right? Though these days you might reading all these your subject related readings, right? So in there, uh, you might have noticed there are like two to three nouns in a single sentence. That is quite normal, but only the one doing the action is the subject, right? නොයි nouns ගොඩක් තියෙන sentence එකක ඔයාලට පුළුවන් වෙන්න අඳුර ගන්න ඒ ක්‍රියාව කරන්නා කවුද? ඒ මොන noun එකද කියන එක clearly අඳුර ගන්න, clearly identify කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. right? මම සිංහල පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මේ lesson එක ඔයාලා හැමෝටම හොඳටම understood නැත්නම් හොඳටම තේරෙන්න ඕනි නිසා. right? Or else I'm not using Sinhala, but I think this lesson is really important. So try your best to understand the lesson. Okay. So now you know what is the subject of a sentence. And we will now move to verb. Verb is a word that describes an action or state of being, right? So state of being, that means be verbs. What are the be verbs in English language? Yes? Yeah.
Am is and are.
Am, is, and are. Very good. Those three are the be verbs in English language. The state of being, right? So either a be verb or the action of the sentence is, we call it as the verb of the sentence. වාක්‍යයක ක්‍රියාව ක්‍රියාව කරන්නා සහ ක්‍රියාව, right? Subject means the ක්‍රියාව කරන්නා, or the person who performed the action. Verb is that particular action performed by the subject. Is it clear? Can you understand? To move on with the rules of subject-verb agreement, you should have a very clear knowledge about these two terms. What is subject and what is the verb, right? Okay. So in English, subject-verb agreement is a grammatical rule actually, right? So in grammar, we consider this as a rule. Okay. In Sinhala also it is same, and in Tamil, even in Tamil as well, right? A grammatical rule which states that the subject and the verb must agree in a sentence. So always remember, your subject and the verb should work together in a sentence, right? So between them, there should be always an agreement. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වාක්‍යයක කතෘ සහ ක්‍රියාව එකිනෙකාට ගැලපෙන්න ඕනි. That is if not, then it is considered that it has a wrong sentence, grammatically wrong sentence. For an example, my mother are going to the market. Is it correct?
Wrong.
Correct.
Wrong.
Wrong. Then how it should be corrected? My mother, yeah, is going to the market, right? So now we are going to talk, talk or discuss in what instances these subject verb agreement change change and how we can make
Recording in progress.
letter S, right? So this is the simple present tense. Verb agreement rule by being on the simple present tense. Okay. So when it comes to the past tense, these rules change in the sense not rules are changing, the way the verb is used, that part is changing. Okay, we are going to talk that in the tenses lesson, which will be the next lesson, right? A good medicine tastes bitter. A good, that means that is it is a singular subject or a plural subject.
Singular.
Yes, singular tastes bitter, right? Okay, next one. This is easy to understand, right? He goes to work by bus. In here, he means is there, right? He goes to work. She goes to work, right? If the subject is singular, remember you should always, and also it is present, simple present tense, right? Not present continuous, present perfect, not them. If the sentence is in simple present tense and the subject is in singular term, remember to add an s or an es to the later or to the end of the verb in here, right? හැමතිස්සෙම ඔයාලා simple present වලින් essay එකක් letter වලින් ලියනවා නම් plus ඊට පස්සේ consider කරන්න ඕනේ දේ තමයි sentence එකේ subject එක singular නම්, right? He, she, it, basic singular pronouns, and other than that, third person singular, all the names. Vimal, Kamal, Amal, all the names, right? Check whether the subject is singular and third person, right? Then find the verb of the sentence and keep the verb with s or an es added to the latter part of the verb, right? හැමතිස්සෙම verb එකේ අගට s එකක් හෝ es එකක් add වෙන්න ඕන. මම මේ s එකක් add වෙනවද es එකක් add වෙනවද කියන එක ඔයාලට nouns lesson එකේදී charts tables වලින් explain කරා. So refer that lesson again to brush up your knowledge, right? Okay, next one. They visit us every other week. Okay, now what has happened to the subject in here, in the last sentence? Yes, it has become
Plural.
plural. Very good, right? So then if it is plural, no problem. You can keep the verb of the sentence as it in the root form, right? Root form එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි verb එකට ing, es or s, ed මුකුත් add කරන්න නැහැ. Root form එක or the base form එකෙම තියෙනවා, right? So they visit us every other week. If it is present, simple present tense, right? They visit us every other week, right? If we talk or if we write by using simple present tense, remember to use all these rules, right? Is it clear now? A singular subject takes a singular verb. A plural subject takes a plural verb. That is the basic rule. Is it clear to you all? Can you understand? Is there anyone who could not still get the point? All right. Okay, I think we can move on. If you have any questions, you can send me a private message or a direct message onto the chat, right? Okay, right. So in here there are some, there are like two, so then it becomes place with the ball. Okay. Now look at the second image. There are two cats. So then the subject becomes plural, the cats. Then verb, we keep it in the root form. The cats play with the ball, right? So this is the basic rule. And the most like based on this rule, students make like the most many mistakes, right? So don't do it hereafter. I think it is very clear to you, right? So that's why I included all these images and these highlighted words and all that, right? So try your best to understand. And if my explanations are not clear, then you can ask to again explain, then I will explain, right? Right. Okay. Now we are moving to a small exercise based on this first rule, singular and plural rule, right? So there are, yes, 10 sentences. I will give you 5 minutes to finish these 5 sentences first, right? So in here, in the bracket, you can find the relevant verb, right? So look at the subject and decide whether it should be added with an S or whether you can keep the root form, right? For an example, the first one, we will discuss only the first one. The dog, then the within brackets you can find bark and blank loudly in the back cap. So this is simple present tense. Remember, all these sentences are in simple present tense, right? Here from the time, like that means there's a, when we take a sentence, you can decide whether the sentence belongs to the present tense or the past tense or the future tense, right? So tell me how to like decide whether the sentence is written in past tense. How we can identify? Yeah, sentence එකක් past tense එකෙන් තියෙන කියලා කොහොමද අපි අඳුරගන්නේ? Basically, you can simply, right? This is the simple method. Look at the verb of the sentence, right? Then if you can see a D or an ED at the end of the verb, then it is belongs to the which tense? Yes, then it belongs to the past tense, right? If you find the word will in a sentence, right? Simply, there are some other ways also. If you find the word will in a sentence, so then that means it belongs to the future tense, right? So anyway, now these 10 sentences are in simple present. Okay. So then first one, look at the first one. The dog, then its verb should be written as how? Yes? It should be written as barks. Okay. First example that we discussed, right? All right. I will give you 5 minutes to finish these 5 sentences, and after that, I'm going to move to the next slide. So quickly fill these 5 blanks. Okay. And remember very well, you have to like, it is not like, yeah, some of these sentences will be on your paper. Out of these 10 sentences, some of the sentences will be on your paper as same as in here, right? So do your best. You have only 5 minutes. All right. Yes, done with the activity. Okay, then I think we discussed the first one. So the right, let's do like this. We will complete the other five sentences, and after that we will discuss all 10 sentences together. Okay. Did you finish these five? Shall I move slide? All right. So the ones who still doing this activity, you can take a screenshot of this slide and complete it. Right? Okay. These are the next five sentences. This also I'm going to give you only 5 minutes. Quickly complete because we have other, yeah, 9 rules, okay, to discuss. Yes, I think you had enough time. So shall we discuss? All right. So the sentence B, right? We will get the answer from Pasindu. Chamod Pasindu, can you tell us the answer? Yes, Pasindu, can you hear me? And Meedum, what a unique name, Meedum. Meedum, mist. Yes, yes, Meedum, can you hear me? If you can't speak, at least share your answer to the chat.
Has.
My favorite book has, yes, very good. Right, so yeah, my favorite book has a captivating storyline because book is a singular term. Very good, thank you. And then sentence C, a delicious aroma of freshly baked bread. Feels or feel? What do you think? Yenuka? Feels. You say it is feels. Delicious aroma of freshly baked bread fills the air. Right. So there's something with this term bread, right? So for one bread, we say loaf of bread. Can you remember it from the lesson nouns? This example was there, right? So for like if it is more than one bread, then we say loaves of bread, right? So in here, just take the content of with the context, right? The meaning of the word bread with the context of the sentence, right? Delicious aroma of freshly baked bread, right? So usually when baking, uh, at if it is baking at home, yes, obviously we bake like most in most instances a one cake or a one bread or something like that. But in here you can take the meaning to the other side as well. That means from the other side. That means you can think this is a bakery or somewhere like that. And it is correct if you fill the blank with either fill or fills, right? So in these kinds of sentences, you are given that chance. Okay. කොන්ටෙක්ස්ට් එකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට ආගියු කරන්න පුළුවන් මේක එක පාන් ගෙඩියක් ගැන පාන් ගෙඩියක් ගැන කියන්නේ කියලා. හැබැයි තව ආගියුමන්ට් එකක් එන්න පුළුවන් නැහැ. මේක කියන්නේ එක බේක් කරපු පාන් බැච් එකක්. නැත්නම් එක පාන් ගොඩක් ගැන කියලා. Right? So this difference is there. So that's why I always ask you to read the context, right? According to the context, only you have to keep the verb, right? So in here, Yenuka's answer is also correct. And if someone has filled the answer with the fill, word fill, then it is also correct, right? That means you can take this term bread as singular and as plural only in this sentence, right? Not only in this particular given sentence, right? So always So these kinds of tricky questions might be there on your paper, right? So be attentive. All right. So now we are moving to the sentence D. She blank to the park every morning. Here's Amodya or Amodya. I know it is little bit hard to on your microphones because you are at your hostels. But you can use the chat. Yes, Amodya, I think. Can you hear me? What's the answer, Pute, for the question, for the sentence D? Yes. Yes, then anybody? Can you tell me the answer? Runs. Yes, Chamod, very good. Right? She runs to the park every morning. Right? Okay, now in here, in the next sentence, you find a be verb. Right? So, yes, Teshan, can you tell me the answer? You blank my best friends. Then friends are here. So then the answer should be, yes, Teshan. Teshan, can you hear me? Yes, are you sleeping? Okay, Salim says, are being. Here, Pute, you are only using simple present tense in filling all these blanks. Are being means continuous, right? So then it should be you. No, Tesha, not be. You, what's the, yeah, you are my best friends. Okay, I got the answer from three, four people together. I don't know who are there, right? Uh, it is better if you can rename it with your names. No need of renaming it with your indexes. If you are like joining for the session only by using a one device and if there are many students, right? More than one. Okay. So anyway, the answer is you are my best friend. So the be verb which matches in here is are, right? You are my best friends. Okay. All right. The next one, the birds. Okay. The subject is plural. Then melodiously at dawn. The birds. Yes. Madhumal, what's the answer? Yes, quickly, can you come up? Yes.
Sing.
Sing. Very good. Birds sing. You can keep the fruit form. No any problem, right? Because the birds in here is a plural subject. Yes. The next one. The students blank their assignments on time. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, Ranavana, what is the answer? The students? Complete. Very good, right? So in here, the subject is plural, so you can keep the root form of the verb, right? The next one, colorful kites, then fly or flies. Aljat, colorful kites, yes? Fly high in the sky. Yes, good, right? Kites in here, so the subject is plural. You can keep the root form of the verb without adding s to the end of the verb, right? Okay, the next one. These books have or has. Ijini, yes, what is the answer? These books have Sajivan, very good. So this is not actually a simple present tense. Have been is there, right? So these books have been on the shelf for years, right? So then the dogs, what's the B verb which should come here? The last sentence. Any volunteer? Yes, the dogs are barking. Yes, Yanuka, very good, right? The dogs are barking loudly all night. So this last sentence is also not a simple present tense. It is a simple continuous tense or ing tense, right? Okay. So I think you understood the basic rule very well, right? So we will quickly move on with the other rules as well. Uh, because if we like do this lesson physically, it will not take this like this time because I can see you and I can like get the answers quickly than this and I can finish the lesson that means all the rules by 12, right? So anyway, we will try to complete the most number of two rows that we by 12 p.m. And if we don't find enough time to complete all the rows, on the next day physically we are going to do the rest of the lesson, right? Okay, right, now we are moving to the second rule. The subject is separated from the verb by, with, as well as, together with, along with, right? These words and phrases are not part of the subject. The verb agrees with the subject. Okay, look at this example. The politician, comma. You know the importance of punctuation marks, right? The politician along with the newsman, right? So then again there's a comma. Is expected shortly. The politician, along with the newsman, is expected shortly, right? So here, look at the definition again. The subject is separated from the verb, right? So this is the subject of the sentence, and this is the verb of the sentence. So in between, there's a third person, right? Subject එකයි verb එකයි separate කරලා තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ along with කියන word phrase එකෙන්. Along with වෙන්න පුළුවන් මේක it only can be with, right? As well as, along with, together with, right? So anyway, remember, if you find a sentence like this where the subject and the verb have been separated with a phrase like this, with a phrase like with, right? Subject එකයි verb එකයි මෙන්න මේ වගේ along with, together with, as well as කියන මේ වගේ phrases වලින් වෙන් කරලා තිබුණාට අපි ඒ phrase මෙතන තව noun එකක් තියෙනවනේ, right? so මේ noun එක consider කරන්නේ නැහැ මේකේ subject එක විදිහට, right? We do not consider the noun after the phrase, these kinds of a phrase. මේ වගේ phrase එකකින් පස්සේ තියෙන noun එක අපි consider කරන්නේ නැහැ ඒ subject එකේ noun, ඒ sentence එකේ subject එක කියලා. That's why I said you earlier, for a sentence, there might be 2 to 3 nouns. This kind of a lengthy sentences, right? So then in there you have to clearly identify who is the part or which noun is performing the action, right? In here, look at this sentence again. The politician is expected shortly. If we omit this part, right? The politician is expected shortly, right? Then along with කෑල්ල ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන නිසා මෙතෙන්ට හැබැයි අපි මේ rule එක change කරන්නේ නැහැ. This is the basic rule. Singular noun, singular subject, singular verb. Is it clear? Can you understand clearly? Or should I explain again? I will share this PPT at the end of this lesson, right? Not today, on the next day, that means the next week or the next day that we are going to do a physical lecture. At the end of this, completing all these grammatical subject verb agreement rules, I'm going to share this PPT. So you guys can refer it again and again and understand, right? And there's a separate PDF as well I have collected to share with you for this to refer, for you guys to refer as an external learning material, right? So anyway, I'm really sorry about my running nose. Okay, I'm not well these days, so please bear with it, right? So that's something else. Okay. Yeah. So this is the rule number 2. Okay. Now I want you guys to create 2 more sentences with the same structure, right? දැන් ඔයාලා මේ structure එකෙන් sentences දෙකක් හදන්න ඕනි. හැබැයි along with කියන word එක වෙනුවට as well as, with, or together with මේ තුනෙන් දෙකක් select කරගෙන present simple tense එකෙන්, simple present tense එකෙන් sentences දෙකක් හදන්න ඕනි. නැත්නම් ඔයාලට මේකේ තියෙන tense එකම follow කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. Is expected, right? The politician along with the newsman is expected shortly, right? I will give you 5 minutes to create these kinds of that means 2 sentences which highlights this rule number 2 of subject verb agreement, right? The rule is, even though there are phrases like along with, together with, and as well as, in between the subject and the verb, we do not consider this part. We only consider about the person or the noun which performs the action of that particular sentence, right? And according to that, we keep the verb of the sentence. Is it clear? All right. So there's a request to explain it again. Okay, I will explain now in Sinhala, right? මේ sentence එක ගත්තා පුතේ. මේ sentence එකේ politician කියලා එක noun එකක් තියෙනවා. newsman කියලා තව noun එකක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි මේ දෙන්නව separate වෙලා තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ along with කියන phrase එකේ. right? මෙතෙන්ට along with වෙනුවට together with එන්න පුළුවන්, as well as එන්න පුළුවන්, right? Basically මෙන්න මේ words 4. with කියන word එකත් එක්ක එන meaning එක. සමග කියන meaning එක. right? එතකොට අපි එහෙම තියනකොට අපි එතනින් එහාට ඒ කියන්නේ along with or together with කියන phrase එකෙන් එහා පැත්තේ තියෙන noun එක consider කරන්නේ නෑ මේ ඒ sentence එකේ subject එක කියලා. තේරුණාද? newsman නෙමෙයි මෙතන sentence එකේ subject එක. politician තමයි subject එක. ඒ මොකද politicianට පස්සේ තමයි මෙන්න මේ සමග කියන පදය නැත්නම් සමග කියන meaning එක තියෙන term එකත් එක්ක මෙන්න මේ දෙවෙනි noun එක ඇවිල්ලා ඊට පස්සේ තියෙනවා full sentence එකේ verb එක is කියලා. right? එතකොට මෙතන is වෙන්නේ කාට අනුවද? මෙන්න මේ politician කියන noun එකට නැත්නම් politician කියන උක්තයට අනුව. subject එකට subject එකට අනුව. right? So that the politician, comma, along with the newsman. Right? Politician, newsman, සමග. එතකොට මෙතන කියලානේ ඕගොල්ලන් කියන්නේ මේක plural වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලානේ බැලුවට පේන්නේ. plural වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ rule එක තමයි මෙච්චර වෙලා explain කරේ. right? එතකොට හැමතිස්සෙම along with කියන term එකක් නැත්නම් ඕගොල්ලෝ sentence එකේ together with නැත්නම් with කියලා term එකක් දැක්කොත් එතනින් ඊට පස්සේ තියෙන noun එක ගැන worry වෙන්න යන්න එපා. මෙතන ඉස්සෙල්ලම ඔයාලට හම්බෙන noun එක ඒක තමයි subject එක sentence එකේ right? ඒ subject එකට අනුව verb එක තියන්න. right? මෙතන politicians ආව නම් මෙතන මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? yes? If it is plural, then this should be come as are, right? Politicians are expected shortly. We do not worry about this middle part of the sentence. Is it clear now? Then තේරුණාද? Madhumal, is it clear to you now?
Okay, got it, madam.
Okay. Right, very good. Like guys, if you have any questions, uh, just ask me, right? I will explain as best as I can, right? All right. So now create two more sentences in the same structure by using as well as and together with, right? I will give you 5 minutes. No ChatGPT, just create your own unique sentences. Be honest, right? Because for the examination, this your friend cannot be taken to the examination hall because no any digital devices are allowed at the examination hall. ඒ නිසා ඔයාලට තනියෙන් exam hall එකේදී මේක කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනි. ඒ නිසා ChatGPT use කරන්න නැතුව Google sentences හොයන්නෙත් නැතුව තනියම sentences දෙකක් හදාන්න ඉක්මනට. I will give you 5 minutes. And you can share the sentences to the chat, then I can check. All right. I have received some sentences. Yes, there are correct sentences, and in some of the sentences, I highlighted the small errors. Okay, I think many of you understood, but I doubt about the other students who do not send me their sentences to the chat. So anyway, I think I have to do a small recap of this lesson physically also because I want to make sure all of you understood the lesson. Anyway, we will do a small activity when we meet physically based on this lesson, right? Okay, right. So we will move to the rule number 3. This is the rule number 2, and here the rule number 3. This is easy. Two subjects joined by word and are පදය පාවිච්චි කරලා අපි subjects දෙකක් නැත්නම් කතෘන් දෙකක් එකට එකතු කරනවා නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එතන verb එක plural වෙන්න ඕන. Here look at the example. Mary and Joanne are quite different. Mary, one subject. Joanne or John, one subject. Then you add those two subjects together by using the word and, right? Mary and Joanne are quite different. So then this verb should be kept as plural, right? Exceptions, right? So you know, in any language, even though there are some grammatically formed rules, right? There are also exceptions, right? ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් සිංහල හෝ වේවා වෙන ඕනෑම භාෂාවක දෙමළ ඉංග්‍රීසි වලත් වෙනම ඕනෑම භාෂාවක grammatical rules තිබුණාට පුතේ සමහර තැන්වලදී අපිට ඒ rules follow up කරන්න බැරි වෙන exceptions තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ හරිම පොඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙන්නේ. A very handful number of exceptions are there. So when we discuss when we were learning about the nouns, can you remember when making plural terms, there were some exceptions like that. Irregular plurals, right? So in here also it is same. Bacon and eggs, this is considered as a plural subject, even though bacon is can be considered as a separate subject, and eggs also can be considered as another subject, and even though they have been connected with the connector and still it is considered as a singular subject, right? Bacon and eggs is a compound noun because that's the reason. Bacon and eggs is a one food item, right? So this is the only exception that I found, right? But if you search for more, there might be some other exceptions, but this is the most common exception of this subject verb agreement rule number 3. Okay, so Mary and Joanne are quite different. So if you join two subjects by the connector and, so then the verb is always plural. Is it clear? It is easy to understand. And කියන පදයේ සමග අපි subjects දෙකක් එකට එකතු කරනවා නම් ඒ වාක්‍යයේ verb එක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම plural වෙන්න ඕනි. That is a must. Right? Okay. Right. So now I'm from this rule, I do not want any sentences because here's Isuru sketching on my screen. Yes. Okay. Right. In here, look at these three examples, right? Uh, right. We will, for now, just keep this neither either parts away in the sense a little bit away for now, right? Until you understand the theory of this rule, okay? So let's take the last example. Look at the last sentence. Not only you, I think this is easy to understand. Not only but also sentences, right? You have come up with these sentences before, I think, right? Not only you, but also I am planning to go, right? So in here, if you connect two subjects by these phrases, not only, but also. Not only she, but also him, right? Not only you, but also I. Not only Isuru, but also Sankar, right? So in these kinds of sentences, not only you, this is the first subject that you find in this sentence, right? There's another subject. What is the other subject of this sentence? Can you please tell me quickly? Yes. What is the other subject of this sentence? I. Here I have highlighted it in red color as well to identify easily, right? Not only you, but also I am planning to go, right? So then the verb of this sentence is am. Okay? So this verb is kept according to the last subject. That means මේ verb එකට ළඟම තියෙන subject එකට අනුව තමයි අපි verb එක තියන්නේ. verb එක singular ද plural ද කියන එක decide කරන්නේ. Is it clear to you? Can you understand it? මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවන් වලදී පමණයි. right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි or not කියලා use කරලා sentences හදනවනේ ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට. නැත්තම් either my father or my brothers. Right? So here look at this second example. Either my father. So this is the subject one. Then or my brothers. So then this is the subject two. So then here this is the verb. Okay, can you somebody tell me according to which subject, subject number one or two, the verb in here is kept? Yes, according to which subject? Yes, Nadul, can you tell me according to which subject this verb is kept in this second sentence? Verb is plural. Then according to, yes, tell me quickly. Come on. According to brothers, right? In here, right? Can you see that? This is the second subject of the sentence. Yes, very good, right? So brothers are coming, right? මෙහෙම either neither ඊළඟට either or neither nor, right? Neither nor කියන Neither my mother nor my father goes to university. මගේ අම්මවත් තාත්තවත් university ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. අද තයන්න කියන එක තමයි neither either or කියන phrases වලින් අපි highlight කරන්නේ. Neither nor කියන එක අපි use කරනවා negative meaning එකක් convey කරන්න. Either O කියන එක අපි use කරනවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට positive meaning එකක් convey කරන්න. Right? So this is another pattern, sentence pattern that you use in English language. Right? So these two might be a little bit complex to you, but this one, not only but also sentences, right? I think from grade 8 or 9 onwards, you are learning about this not only but also, right? So this is easy to understand, okay? In these kinds of instances, remember that we keep the verb of the sentence according to its closest subject, right? Make sentence එකක මේ වගේ sentence එකක neither nor either or not only but also කියන මේ වගේ sentences වල verbs කොච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක් තිබ්බත් අපි subject එක තියන්නේ subjects කොච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක් තිබ්බත් අපි verb එක තියන්නේ ළඟම තියෙන subject එකට අනුව. Here father goes, brothers are, I am. Is it clear? Can you understand? Yes? Or should I explain again? Okay, I will explain it again, right? All right, now forget all the other rules you learned up to now, right? When writing in English, we use different kinds of sentence patterns, right? So this is one of such sentence patterns. අපි ඕනෑම භාෂාවක ලිඛිත නැත්නම් ලියන සයිඩ් එකට එනකොට writing side එකට එනකොට අපි විවිධ වර්ගයේ වාක්‍ය කියන ඒවට patterns කියන right මම කිව්වා සමහර වාක්‍ය රටා කියලා ගමුකෝ අපි. එතකොට අපි සමහර වාක්‍යවල structure එක වෙනස් කරනවා. right structure එක වෙනස් කරනවා ඊළඟට සමහර වෙලාවට අපි මොනවාද basically the structure right structure වෙනස් කරනවා ඊළඟට අපි subject එක ඒ කියන්නේ subject එක මුලට දානවද අගට දානවද tense එක වෙනස් වෙනවා ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් වෙනස්කම් වෙනවා right so when we take these types of sentences which we create by using neither nor right either or then not only but also right so you might have seen these kinds of sentences right so when it comes to these sentence patterns you can identify that these sentence patterns are not the basic sentence patterns you learn the dog barks loudly වගේ basic sentence pattern එකක් නෙමෙයි right so මේ වගේ sentence patterns වල ඔයාලට පොඩි doubt එකක් එන්න පුළුවන් කොහොමද subject verb agreement එක place කරන්නේ කියලා. මොකද මේ වගේ sentences වල අනිවාර්යෙන්ම subject දෙකක් තියෙනවා. Right? So let's look at this last example. Not only you. So that is you is the subject one of this sentence. Right? So after that, but also I. Then I is the subject two of this sentence. So then there are two subjects in the same sentence. Right? So then you might wonder according to which subject you are going to keep the verb of this sentence. That is the problem. Right? So what we do is we write the sentence up to here. Not only you, but also I. Alright, now the sentence is complete up to here. Not only you, but also I. දැන් මෙතනින් පස්සේ ඔයාලා දන්නවා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම එන්න ඕනි verb එක කියලා. Subject sentence එකක් complete වෙන මේ තුනම තියෙන්න ඕනේනේ. Right? What the basic structure of English language sentences is subject, verb, object. Right? So the subjects are now okay. Now you should keep the verb, right? So in here, when keeping the verb, you might wonder whether you are going to keep the verb according to you or I. දැන් මෙතන නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ මොකද you කිව්වත් verb එක am. Sorry. Yeah, here there's that problem, right? If it is you, the verb should be kept as how? Am, is, or are. You නම් වෙන්න ඕනි මොකද්ද? Here, Subun. If it is you, then the verb should be are. You are, right? Then if it is I, the verb should be am, right? So anyway, both these verbs are subjects are singular subjects, right? So what we do is there's a confusion, right? You according to again you කියන විදිහට verb එක තියනවාද නැත්නම් I කියන subject එකට අනුව verb එක තියනවාද මොකද මේකේ subjects දෙකක් තියෙන නිසා මේ sentence එකේ, right? So එතකොට අපි කරන්නේ verb එකට ළඟම තියෙන subject එකට අනුව verb එක තියනවා, right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේ sentence එක මෙතෙන්ට යනකම් ලියාගෙන යනවා. Not only you but also I. Alright. I නම් වෙන්න ඕනි මොකක්ද verb එක am. is කියන්න බෑ, are කියන්නත් බෑ. Right? I not am. Right? So that is the rule. We in these kinds of sentences මේ වගේ sentences වල විතරයි. හොඳට බලන්න ඒ sentences වල ඔයාලට මෙන්න මේ words හොයාගන්න තියෙනවද කියලා. Neither, either, not only වගේ words හොයාගන්න තියෙනවද කියලා. Right? And after that check whether there are how many nouns, nouns in that particular sentence and how many subjects, right? So usually there are only two subjects in these kinds of sentences. අපි neither either කියලා use කරන sentences වල ගොඩක් වෙලාවට තියෙන්නේ subjects දෙකයි. Right? Neither my mother nor my father goes to university. Right? So my mother, father goes. Here, goes කියන එක මේ verb එක තියලා තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ immediate subject එකට අනුව. Immediate, the subject closest to the verb. අපි හැමතිස්සෙම එහෙම තමයි decide කරන්නේ subject verb agreement එක තියන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. Right? In here, look at the second example. Either my father or my brothers are coming, right? So in here, the verb is are. So it has been kept according to the closest subject, right? මෙන්න මේ are කියන verb එකට ළඟම තියෙන subject එකට අනුව තමයි අපි verb එක ලියන්නේ. Is it clear now? Supun? Okay, very good. Good that you asked that question. So I also provided I think, more details and clear information rather than the first explaining, right? Okay, from here, from this rule, we are going to create two sentences, right? You can choose any word phrase or not, either or, neither nor, or not only but also. ඔයාලට මෙන්න මේ වචන sets දෙකෙන් වචන sets වලින් ඕනෑම වචන set එකක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. එක්කෝ or not නැත්නම් either or, neither nor, not only but also, right? Quickly make two sentences and share it on the chat. So then I will check. I will give you only about 5 minutes. Do it quickly. I got only 3 sentences. Yes, what about the others? Quickly make a sentence by using any of these word pairs and send it right on the chat. Okay. So, yes, I have received many sentences and I think I corrected them all. When I asked to create the sentences, Pute, try your best to create them in simple present tense or present continuous tenses, right? Because in the other tenses, like past tense and even in simple past and perfect tenses, right? You do not notice these changes, okay? Because in the past tense, what you have to do is you just have to add an ed to the verb, that's it. Then have has only changing, right? So there are some like changes in other tenses. So the subject verb agreement rule can be uh, commonly and clearly the rules can be seen in only in the simple present tense. Okay? Subject verb agreement ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙන හොඳම tense එක තමයි simple present tense එක. And present continuous tense, right? ඒ නිසා will be, have, has එක මේ verbs වලට යන්න එපා. It is not wrong, but I do not know whether you got the point very clearly. From the simple present tense and continuous only, I can, have an idea whether you got the point or not, right? So I asked many of you to change the tense of the sentences that you have created, right? Okay, right. So anyway, there are like another 6 more rules to learn. Some are very simple, and we will need another like 1 hour to complete this lesson, right? So I think, uh, yeah, from next Monday onwards, uh, I am free of exam duties and the other lectures. So I think I will be able to spare 4 hours, 4 to 8 hours for you guys to do the physical lectures, right? And in those lectures, we will complete this lesson and the other 2 lessons which we have to complete. Okay. So with the time being, I will check whether I can do the remaining 2 lessons together as a joint lesson, right? So I will see the possibility. And the other most important thing is on the next day, the physical day that we are going to have the lecture, you will have a CA, right? You will have an assessment. Okay. So the presence, that means the attendance of all the students is uh, like a must, right? හැමෝම එන්න ඕනි. මම ඒකයි කලින්ම කිව්වේ CA එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා, right? So at the end of the lesson on next week, I will inform what you have to do, right? It will be a speaking CA, right? So no need of prior preparations, okay? No worries as well. It will be fun and these generation kids, okay? So you have to do a video submission, right? I will give you the guidelines, okay? Actually, you have to do a small blog, right? A blog of 2 to 3 minutes. That's it, right? So I will give the other needed information on the next day we meet. Okay? Is it clear to you? So inform everyone in your batch to attend the next week's lecture, right? So, and the other thing is, if you participate at the end of the lecture only for the CA, you will be not allowed to do the CA. You should be there for the lecture, and that is a must. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම lecture එකට participate කරන්න ඕනි. ඒ කරන අයට විතරයි attendance sheet එක sign කරන අයට විතරයි මම CA එක කරන්න දෙන්නේ. මොකද නැත්නම් CA එකට විතරක් වෙන ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස්ලා ඉන්නවා. That is a big no, right? You can't do that. Every one of you should attend the lecture next week, and I will give you the time. It could be at the middle of the lecture, or at the end of the lecture, or it might be like before we begin the lecture, right? I will decide that time. Anyway, you have to do a blog. That is the task. I will give you the information on the relevant day. Okay. So your responsibility is to find another free date like this, right? So Tanya and Sankar, please let me know the next immediate free day you have, right? On the next week, not on this week, right? So then we will be able to do the lesson and the one CA. And on that same day, I will give information and I will tell you about the next CA, next continuous assessment. Is it clear? Do you have any questions regarding the information I just now shared? If you have any questions about the CA, you can ask now. And the other thing, when you arrange the physical lecture in the next week, please confirm me with the lecture hall as well, right? You can discuss it with the department and allocate a lecture hall. Sankar or Tanya, either one of you, discuss it with the department and confirm a lecture hall to do the lecture, right? We need this, I think in your faculty you have all these facilities, but I do not know whether they are working or they work like they have this, the power supply is not that is connected, is it?
Yes, ma'am, it's working.
Okay, then no problem. So in the last month, yeah, I can remember once I went there to do a CA for your seniors. Those times they were not actually set, so that is really new. Okay, and I think by now all are settled. So please confirm me with the lecture hall as well, right? So then, if you do not have any questions about the assessment, so we can wind up the lecture for now, and I will do the rest of the lesson on the next day we meet, right? So since you will be at the university up until February 14th, we have enough time for a revision session as well. So if you need a revision session, no any problem, I will be able to do it. So discuss with the batch and let me know at the end of all these assessments, right? And the other thing, for the assessments, no any cover-ups will be provided unless it is a medical reason or a family funeral. For the family weddings, no cover-ups will be provided, right? Family funeral එකක් හෝ critical medical condition එකක් ඇරෙන්න මම cover-ups දෙන්නේ නෑ. මොකද පුතේ ඒක හරිම මේ manage කරගන්න හරිම අමාරුයි. මොකද like there are, as I told you, many batches that I'm doing lectures, English lectures for the many faculties, right? 4 faculties together, right? So it won't be possible, and there will be no time as well, okay? So in a simple reasons අරගෙන එන්න එපා, cover ups දෙන්නේ නැහැ. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඔයගොල්ලෝ participate කරන්න ඕනි. Medical reason එකක් නම්, critical medical reason එකක් නම්, you should provide me the medical reports, right? If it is like small, like medical issues like fever and these kinds of very these days it is rainy, and due to that I know, and you are new to the environment as well, right? You might have some medical issues, but you can control them, right? Unless it is a very critical condition, I'm not going to provide you any CS. It will be really difficult, right? Difficult to find a time and to, enter the marks, and that's a huge process, right? ඉතින් හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න critical medical reason එකක් ඇරෙන්න මම cover ups දෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැමෝම ඒ නිසා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම participate කරන්න ඕනි assessment එකට, CA එකට. ඒ නිසා ඔයාලා හැමෝටම convenient day එකක් දාගන්න. pressure වෙලා CS කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, right? So just discuss with your batch and arrange a very convenient date for you to do the lesson and to do the CA as well. Then you guys can happily do the CA as well, right? Then no any pressures. Okay. So by this Friday, you should discuss and inform me, and we'll see what is the date that we get. Okay. So Tanya or Sanka, inform me if you get a free date immediately, ASAP, right? Okay then. So we will remember the points that I said about the cover up CAs, right? So inform all the absentees, all right? So then that is it for today. So we can wind up the lecture, and I will share this PPT on the next day after I complete all the rules, right? And then you can refer, and I will share the PDF also on that particular day, right? So then thank you for the participation and for the active participation as well on the activities as well. So if you have any doubts or unclear points, no worries. I will do a small recap of this lesson again at the very end of this lesson, right? Okay, then remember all the points that I said about CA and be ready with it, right? I will give you all the information on the next day we meet, right? All right, then, thank you and have a nice week until we meet.
Thank you, ma'am.